Yeah, it might
But
be.
you know what? That actually reminded me. I actually saw something on my feed the other day of. Did you see that Miami did like a freestyle rap? Like the University of Miami when
Oh, the
like
Greg Olson one.
the Greg Olson one. Did
Greg
you
Olson
see
was
that on
rapping
Twitter?
his ass off. I didn't know he was like that. And that's what it just wasn't meant to be. It just wasn't meant to be. And don't get me wrong, I'm definitely gonna watch it like from the comfort of my luxury hotel room. But I do wish I could have went. Like I really wish I could have went, bro. But hey, man, let's get into the show. You already know who it is. The two coldest co-hosts and co-host history. Back to you again for another episode of our recording, episode 3 of season 4.
Episode 3.
You got my partner, my main man, Mr. 007, Gage Sutton. You look like such a fuckboy doing that. Like you look like don't ever do that shit.
I know.
Don't ever do that shit again.
Is it
Don't
the
ever
hair?
do that shit again.
I don't know. No,
it's the hair and the eyes closed and the don't ever do that shit again.
It's like I was going for like a Cody Co vibe.
No, that's not what we're doing. No, that's not.
Okay,
that's
well,
not
hold on.
brand.
Let me do the introduction. That's not on brand. Well, no. Maybe I'm trying to make it on brand, man. But anyway, on brand is your introduction, man. If you don't already know, he's the 5'5" of pure temptation, the young Rottweiler. He is the legend himself, man, Mr. Ethan Hamilton. And you are watching the Our Recording Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Give us a like. Helps out the channel a lot. And hey, let's get right into it, man. We started the show with our weekend plans, or I guess my week going to Raw, and your internship, man. I'm again, congratulations, man. Can we give a shout out to E for
appreciate it, man.
This
full-time job incoming.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Incoming for both of us.
Yeah, absolutely. If you know somebody who's looking for some media specialist, tell them Ethan Hamilton and
who's like
Mr. Gage Sutton are on
in training to be adult entertainers. Like,
okay,
just come hit us up.
All right, that's kind of crazy. I mean, that's some stuff I would expect in like if I was interviewing for like a job in Florida or something. Like,
nah, you think Florida got the
something
most
weird.
Adult, you think Florida got the most adult entertainers?
I'd say they're probably like top 3.
Well, I think if you do top 3, it's got to be like the top 3 states with the most population, like Texas, California, Florida.
Yeah,
right?
I would say probably. Yeah, I think. I know. Yeah, that sounds about right. Maybe New York.
Maybe New York, but that's like the 4 most populous states. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But how was Raw? How was Raw, Paul? Like, you like that transition adult entertainers to Raw? Like, I thought that was pretty good. I guess I should have given him more time to breathe.
We were talking about Raw earlier, but hey, you know what? I'll take this transition. Hey, Raw was a great time, man. Anytime I get to go to a live wrestling show, I'm all about it. It was a good time getting to see Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. You guys are probably watching this and like, who are these guys? Well, they're the new faces of WWE. And again, I'm going to preach it again. If you were a wrestling fan and you're still kind of skeptical about it, don't be. Ethan was a wrestling fan, and I got him right back into it. It's just as good.
He brought me back.
I roped you right back into it, man. And it really is becoming like, I don't know, cool again. I don't know. If
it definitely is. And right? I feel like we do this every like other episode. We talk about how wrestling
literally
is back. Every single episode, but
people are probably so tired of it. But
they're so fucking tired of it. But we're gonna keep going with it. But I'm just glad you and Dylan had a dope ass time at Raw. I wish I could have go to SmackDown this week. We're recording this like Thursday night, so SmackDown would have already been in the past when this episode comes out on Monday. But I'm just glad you guys had a good time. For my weekend, I didn't do too much. Hung out with Mag. I've come to the Mag and Marcus. I've come to the realization that I am getting better at bowling by a lot, but also the more alcohol I drink while bowling, it kind of cancels each other out. You know what I'm saying? Like I always start.
Did you get worse?
Yes. Like I always start really good. I don't know if anybody else has this problem in bowling. I always start really, really well, like the first 2 or 3 rounds. But after that, once I start getting more alcohol in me, I start dipping. I become so much worse. I start gutter ball. Like it's bad. Like I'll start off with like a lead. I always start off with a lead and I choke the shit out of it. Like I'm a habitual choker, like in bowling. Like it's really, really bad. Like I started off like crazy. Like after the first 3 rounds, I was in first. And I finished in 4th out of 6 people.
Wow.
That was a fucking choke job, what I did. Like it was really a choke job. And I'm so sick that I did that. I'm so sick that I did
because of the
I am
alcohol,
getting
man.
It really was. It really was. Like, and we met
That's
this
weird.
guy at the bowling alley. You know how there's always like a guy at the bowling alley that's just there for way too long, that he lives there?
Yeah.
We met a guy there, and we became friends with him for the night. And he was just a bad influence. Like he was talking shit to me the whole time. I'm like, man, I'm folding right now. Like I don't know what to do. Like I'm just getting worse. I can't handle this pressure.
Man, we need to go bowling, man. I feel like that would be fun.
Every time we've gone bowling, I've been under the influence. Like I've been talked into drinking beforehand or during bowling, and that's why I suck. Like the one time I've gotten bowling, the one time I've gone bowling and played great is like the never ending game. I won't stop talking about it. My cousin's like not bridal. It's not bridal shower. Wedding. What's the party before the wedding?
Like
rehearsal dinner.
Yeah.
Rehearsal dinner where I had 5 strikes in a row, but our time ran out. So I think it started with like a 114 or something like that. And I never got to finish the game, and I still had like 4 more rounds. And nobody, and like now, like my siblings know it, and my cousins know that game happened. And if you're watching, you guys know that game fucking happened. You start telling people the fucking truth, because I've been trashed every other game after that.
Man, that's crazy, man. So do you think if alcohol was never introduced into your system, that you could be real legit at this bowling thing?
I'd have been nice. I'd be really nice at bowling if like alcohol didn't exist. Like I'd be really fucking nice at bowling, and I'm determined to beat this addiction I have drinking while bowling. It's a real problem. Like it takes like no lives every single year.
Yeah, I was about to say better than drinking 0 lives, driving, right? Drinking,
yeah, no. But drinking while bowling, you know, it's a hard like disease to overcome, because you know it takes 0 lives every year. So you just gotta watch out for that. You know what I mean? You could.
Has anyone ever died on a bowling alley? Or in a bowling alley? I mean, I'm sure like in a bowling alley, like I'm sure someone, but like actually bowling, like in the middle of a bowl, like it's like falls over.
Gotta be
like
out, like
ball doesn't fall off his finger, and he like flies with the pins and explodes
like
on
some like cartoon, like
yeah.
This seems like a regular show episode, like dying while bowling.
Yeah,
Rigby and Mordecai, like we have to bowl against the bowling god to save the world. that seems like a regular show episode.
It literally does.
Well, I'm glad we got to talk about our weekends, man.
Okay, hold on. So I want to talk about something big, because we've got spring break coming up. I know we're not students anymore, so this doesn't really affect us as much anymore. But the whole city of Miami has basically banned spring breakers. Miami Beach announced that they were like making a bunch of limitations and basically making it to where people couldn't go to Miami Beach for spring break. And it's crazy.
I've never seen a city say, "Do not come here. We don't want your money. We don't want any of the publicity, the attention." Like even the commercial for it, it was like, "Oh, it's you. It's not me." Like on the whole like play on the breakup trope, and charging $100 for parking, curfews. They do not want nobody there. Do not come at all. And I find it hilarious because I've never seen a city do that.
Yeah, and it made me think, like, is Florida going to start something? Do you think other cities will take effect on this? Because, I mean, the spring breakers are just going to flock somewhere else. Is eventually the other states that end up getting these spring breakers are going to be like, oh, okay, hold on. All this crazy shit that's happening, maybe Florida was onto something. Maybe we should start, like, banning people to come to our beach. But like you said, it's also like a very profitable thing, so it really must have like left a big impact on the community last year when like all that shit happened, apparently.
Yeah,
they were just like, we
trashed it. They trashed Miami Beach. They trashed it. And I can see it happening to more cities, because like in the next 2-3 years, there's probably going to be a new city like Sacramento or something like that, where they're going to pick a new city where
Does Sacramento have beaches?
I don't know.
I've never been to Sacramento. I've never been
either.
I haven't been to California.
But like, you get what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna pick a city, and everybody's gonna go target there for spring break, like a big name city. Like, of course, in Texas, the big thing down here is South Padre. Like, you go to South Padre like in high school or early days of college, and that's where you go. We had plans this year to go to South Padre early on. I kind of ditched him early on. I was the guy that didn't fall through. But that's because I feel like I'm like, not on some like I'm mature and better than you guys type of thing, but like I'm mature and better than you guys. Like I really just don't want to go to like Padre. You know what I'm saying? We're 22, 23, some of us. Like I just feel like Padre is something you do when you're 18, 19. And I feel like now that most of our friends were like out of college or about to leave college, it's time to save. Like we got some bread saved up. Let's go do somewhere like let's go somewhere nice.
Let's go to Cancun. Let's go to DR. Let's go to
PR. Like we could go literally anywhere. We don't have to go to Padre anymore. Like, we really don't have to. Literally. Padre's fun. Like I had my Padre experience one year, but like we don't have to do it no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we definitely talked about it on the pod, how like difficult it is to coordinate any kind of plans or trips with our friends. I feel like it's a universal thing. You have to have like that one person in the group is like, all right, guys, we got to get our heads together and like figure this shit out. And it's a lot easier when you can say, all right, we're all going to drive to Port A or we're all going to drive to South Padre when you're here in Texas. Getting everyone on a flight, getting everyone their passports, like that does not seem like a job for the faint of heart. It is exhausting. So,
and I've noticed that like throughout the years, like don't get me wrong, I feel like there's been some friends in our friend group that have kind of taken the mantle. But like whenever I was living in Austin and San Marcos with everybody, I very much got the impression that I was the person that planned this type of stuff. And whether sometimes it was successful or not, I let them be the ones to tell my story. But I'm just kind of like, I just really don't feel like being the person to plan something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because like Gage, can we keep it a buck?
Yeah.
Our friends, they complain a lot. And I feel like I'm at the point where it's like, all right, like I'm cool. Like everybody should have a say. If you're going to spend your hard-earned money to go somewhere, you should have an opinion on it. But not everything can be like, I don't want to go there. And I don't want to go there. Oh, this is too expensive. It is like, bro, like it's not really that expensive. Like you're just broke. And I'm not talking to anybody in particular before I get a text message or a snap or something like that. But I'm just like, I feel exhausted from it. And I can't wait to do a friends trip this year because we're going to do a friends trip. Like finally it's going to make it out the group chat. But it's not going to be this year for spring break. It's not going to be in Miami.
No, definitely not. And I mean, it's so hard because I mean, we've talked about it. I took a trip to Florida with my friends and we drove to Florida. We stayed in Orlando, went to the parks, and it kind of worked out because we got to drive and we had like cheaper stay. My parents have a timeshare in Orlando. So like,
money.
Yeah, I know, right? Literally first world problems, man. But anyway, like, yeah, the drive was brutal. Don't get me wrong. But like I look back on that trip and I'm like, man, that was a lot of fun. And even the trip that I took with the guys up to Dallas when we went up for it was Nico's graduation.
Yeah, it was Nico's graduation last year.
Yeah, Nico's graduation last year, and then when we went up for your birthday too, right after you graduated, I think. Yeah, or no, it was during Christmas actually.
Yeah, it's graduation for Christmas.
When we all went up to Dallas, man, that was a lot of fun. And we've taken a few other trips to Dallas since then, but yeah, I definitely would like to get it on a bigger scale. Go somewhere big, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you.
International.
And hopefully one day we're able to do it. Like I said, I really think PR or Mexico got to be the first stop we go to.
Especially because we have you and me who speak Spanish. Like that, we would be able to get around in Mexico or PR very easily.
And PR, you don't need a passport, and it's very Americanized.
Yeah.
Now, and so I feel like PR is a perfect place to start. It's technically not out the country, like it's a territory. So like, I don't know. I feel like PR is a perfect spot to go to.
Absolutely. I think we've talked about PR on this podcast before and how I think both of us have said we want to go. You can go back and check our old videos and see if you can find it. If you can find the timestamp and leave it in the comments too, we'll give you a prize. I don't know yet.
We're not gonna give them shit. We're not gonna give them shit.
You can't say that. We gotta get people to watch the podcast.
We gotta be honest here. We gotta lead with love. We gotta lead with love.
I mean, okay, it will be very hard to go back and find that. So I'll you know what? I'll say it on my behalf. If you can go back and find that comment, I will buy you a vinyl myself. If you can find when we were talking about Puerto Rico,
yeah,
in any of the last podcasts, I'll buy you a vinyl.
Gage will buy you vinyl because I won't.
Hey, yeah, I will buy you a vinyl. So go check out all of our old videos. And while you're at it, check out our last video where we talked about J. Cole, because we're about to flashback.
And flashback. We're gonna have to come up with an animation for this someday for
I know, literally
YouTube watchers. We're gonna have to come up with it one day. It's coming soon though.
Step the budget up, man. Like, gotta get some better production than this. But I made the executive decision last week that we were gonna go back to this album.
No. We gotta give a shout out. We gotta get a shout out to Alex because he mentioned it.
That's right. Instagram. I forgot Alex mentioned it on the Instagram story too. Shout out Alex for recommending this peak album, because I really do think that he is overhated for it. But we're talking about For Your Eyes Only by J. Cole, and that's the album we revisited this week. Ethan, I want to get into your thoughts about this album, because I like it a lot. I'll get into my thoughts about it. Obviously, you know, everyone who watched last week's episode knows I'm a J. Cole guy.
And apparently, what did you think? Hater in the comments.
Yeah, so. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too. But what do you think of this album? Like, after going back to it after so many years, how do you feel about it? Has it grown on you, or is it still kind of?
It's definitely grown on me. Like it really has. I think this album is, in my personal opinion, like when we do these flashbacks, right? Not to jump back to the intro, but when we do these flashbacks, it's meant to be quick, just a quick flashback to the time, to the album. So in my quick flashback description of this album, I really think this album is the definition of concept, really high, execution kind of low. Like I really like the idea of this album told from the perspective of a guy speaking to his a man speaking to his loved one after being murdered, right? And he's basically talking about all the regrets he has. And what I interpreted as the overall theme of the album was just like, let's not waste so much time with these worldly possessions and worrying about like spending so much time on your jobs and your career and stuff that really doesn't matter. Let's start spending time with our family and our loved ones and really cherish the moments that we can create with them. And I really, really like that concept and that idea. I just feel like it's just executed in not the best way as far as like being digestible for like the everyday consumer. This album came across to me back then, and honestly still does, as really, really boring sonically. Like I just bored and sleepy through all of it. You know what I'm saying? It definitely has grown on me a little bit. Like now knowing the themes of the album and really analyzing it. But it's just like I feel like if there's one album J. Cole could go back and redo, I think this is the album he could go back and redo. And I think he would knock it out the park. Like 2024 J. Cole would knock 2024 J. Cole would knock For Your Eyes Only out the park. He really would.
I actually really like that take. I'm surprised you said it wasn't very digestible for you. One of the things I like about this album so much is that it's so concise. It's 10 songs, 45 minutes long, no features. It's just J. Cole. And I don't know. I really think you're right about the conceptual thing. I think he nailed that. And while it's not his most upbeat album sonically, I think there are a lot of great tracks on this album. You go from the great opener, For Whom the Bell Tolls, right into Immortal and Deja Vu, which I think are both really good songs. And then you've got some of the more thoughtful, like thought-provoking songs in Ville Mentality and She's Mine. And then maybe my favorite two songs off the album, Change and Neighbors. Neighbors, obviously, banger. Yeah. And just like the wordplay he has on that for selling dope, his music being the dope that he is selling. I don't know, man. I think J. Cole was really on something. And then I'll keep going down the track list because I know the one song that I feel like a lot of people
here's what I'm
give
gonna
this album hate for.
Here's what I'm gonna push back to you on. Like you say sonically, I really like, you know me, like I feel like the length of an album should be how much you like the artist. I feel like Tyler, the Creator, really said it perfectly. When he hears people nowadays complain about the length of the album, he's like, you just really don't like a person enough to listen to 16, 17 songs of them. And I couldn't agree more. And J. Cole is not the case. I know I'm the J. Cole hater, but I really would have liked more than 10 songs on this album. And I really would have liked features. I've been having no features really hurt this album. I really think it does. And I feel like some of the songs come off like they're just not the greatest to me. Like I think if you're gonna go all the way on the deep end conceptually like this and make it sound like so like minimalistic sonically throughout, it's just really slow. Like this album is really, really slow to me, and I get bored very easily with it. And they're great songs, you know what I'm saying? But like Deja Vu is not the greatest to me. I know it came around the time when everybody was flipping that sample. It's a never ending debate. Like, is that song better or is
him
it
or Bryson?
Or Bryson in exchange? And the answer is Bryson. The answer is Bryson. But I do
give you that.
I do like Neighbors. Yeah, right. Exchange is a classic. Exchange is a fucking classic.
But hold on, can we talk about For Your Eyes Only? Like the actual like final
the title track,
though?
the outro is amazing. It's amazing.
It's fucking incredible. Like I think that is what made me love this album so much. Like the rest of it is really good conceptually, and I like it. But that last track just really like it just hits different. It made me like go back and re-listen to all of it again and be like, damn. So this is like everything he's rapping about in the first 9 songs leads up to this 10th track that just fucking shatters your heart, man. I think he was cooking with this one. I definitely agree that if 2024 J. Cole got his hands on this album,
it might
probably would see it as his best.
It might
album.
Be exactly. It would be if 2024 got his hands on For Your Eyes Only, it would be his best album. Like him adding the features to this and just the hunger that he has now, he would smoke this. He would smoke this completely. That's what makes me so excited for the fall off. And hopefully we do get it in the next 18 months, I would have to say. But I can't believe we went this far without talking about folding clothes. You try to run. You try to run from it. You try to run from it.
No, I wasn't trying to run from it. I was actually trying to bring it up. I was trying to say, I think like this is the song that people like most like hate from this album. And I get it. It's kind of cheesy. It's kind of like whatever, but I don't know. I really don't see the big deal in it. Like it's not my favorite J. Cole song. I'm not gonna sit here and defend the fuck out of it, but I think it's okay. It's good in the context of the album, within the the concept of like what it's going for, and it's like I don't know. Tell me that's not what you want out of life. I just want a girl I want to fold clothes for.
Yeah, we all do, but I don't want to hear J. Cole rap about it. Like I don't. I'm so cool. I'm so cool. You know what I'm saying? If I gotta give Kanye shit for what is it? Beautiful butt naked big titty women, I gotta give J. Cole shit for folding clothes. Like I'm not trying to hear that. Not a bit. Not a bit.
Man. That's kind of crazy. All right. So we'll keep it in the music realm right now because
we want to say hold on before we transition, we want to say thank you, Alex, for the Flashback album of this week, and anybody else that has an album they want to recommend to us. We did Slimier, Nudie, Pierre collab album, and now we just did For Your Eyes Only. The title is fucking me up. I don't know why. It's like a tongue twister for me. By J. Cole this week. And so what album do you guys want to see next? Please let us know in the comments down below or DM us. We're going to put a poll, a questionnaire on Instagram and Twitter. Let us know and we'll pick one.
Yeah, because we like going back and revisiting these albums, checking them out again, seeing what like state of mind they bring us back to. Because yeah, this was the album right after 2014 Forest Hills Drive. So I was still like on a very high, like, man, J. Cole's the guy. 2014 Forest Hills Drive was, the shit for me. So yeah, just interesting to see how things grow on us. But keeping it with that discussion, this is an interesting thing I saw on my socials the other day. The Phoenix Suns posted a player post where they asked some of the players on the Phoenix Suns, what is your favorite album of all time? And of course, the Phoenix Suns have star player Kevin Durant on their team. And Kevin Durant answered the question by saying Certified Lover Boy by Drake. And that's his favorite album of all time, according to this question, which, Ethan, I know you and me worked in the basketball sphere, and he probably could have just thrown any answer out because, we asked him those questions kind of on the spot, right? Do you think Certified Lover Boy is the best answer?
No, I think
could he have come up with something better?
I don't want to really I'm not a Drake hater. There's so many great Drake albums, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and I feel like these athletes just sit up here on these questions. These athletes sit up there with Taylor Rooks and Joy Taylor and just fucking lie. Certified Lover Boy, come on, Kevin Durant. Like, that is not your favorite Drake album. Like, we get it, you're friends with Drake. Like, Certified Lover Boy is a cool album, but these artists, these ball players, like, enough. Their taste in music is horrendous. It's horrendous.
That reminds me of LeBron helping 2 Chainz with his album. Man.
Oh, that's still the greatest thing ever. That's still the greatest thing ever.
He's like, we're gonna hit him with 2 more. Boom.
Him invented the deluxe. I just remember 2 Chainz' face sitting there. He had to keep the straightest face in the world because he couldn't be the one to tell LeBron that, like, that's a deluxe.
It's like a Le Deluxe, man. Get it right.
It's a Le Deluxe.
Le Deluxe.
Oh my gosh. The best part too is Chain's face. Like, he goes, oh shoot, like, I ain't even think of that before. And it's like, you liar. Like, he just sat there knowing damn well he couldn't say that shit to LeBron. Like, he could have been like, LeBron, that's a fucking deluxe. Like,
okay, so you know what? I think you have a point though. I feel like athletes, when they answer questions about music for the most part, they kind of give me like vibes that, like, you're not throwing shots at anybody, because I feel like we all do this to some degree. No. But our friends are very like, we ride or die for this artist.
Yeah.
You know, Jay Will, if you're watching this podcast, man, we appreciate you tuning in, man. But we got Destroy Lonely and Yeet because of this guy. He was the number one advocator for both of these guys. And I feel like that's kind of how athletes are. They're just like, oh, what's your favorite album, or what's the best album? And they're just gonna say whoever like their guy is. And
I feel like when
KD's take, it's Drake.
And when athletes get in that space where they're friends with these rappers, right? And they're going to the strip club and shit with these rappers, with these Drakes, the little babies. Of course they're gonna say them. Like, because they're hearing that music all day. And it's like, guys, I know Certified Lover Boy can be his favorite album. I think he's lying. But I think Certified Lover Boy can be his favorite album. Like, that's not the issue. But when, like, I just want them to, like, what did that Laura Ingraham chick say? Shut up and dribble. I'm tired of it.
Crazy.
I'm tired of these athletes giving their opinions about music, man. But I do respect KD does know music. He does know music. Because he had a freestyle too drop like a couple weeks ago too. It was solid.
KD?
It was solid. Yeah. You ain't never heard it?
Wow. No, I haven't heard it.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was pretty solid.
Huh.
It's pretty solid.
Like,
I do want to hear.
Do you think he's a better rapper than Lonzo or Damian Lillard?
No, I don't think he is. But it makes me want to hear that infamous. Apparently, there's like a LeBron and Kevin Durant collab album somewhere in the ether, and I really hope when they retire, they release that collab album.
Do we get that before we get the Kendrick J. Cole album?
Oh, I think we get the Kevin Durant and LeBron album before the Kendrick and J. Cole one, easily. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't think LeBron should be in the GOAT debate without an album. Like, Kobe has an album. LeBron doesn't have an album.
Hey, does MJ have an album though?
MJ doesn't have a left hand, apparently. Do you see that shit? They went back, and there's this TikToker. I can't remember his name. He does really good content, but there's like this, the whole, like, I call it the Fern wave of like hating on 80s and 90s basketball players. They went back and watched. They went back and tried to basically say that Michael Jordan doesn't have a left hand, and they basically just trash his fucking left hand in comparison to NBA players now. Basically saying that he's Jaylen Brown. That's all he is Jaylen Brown with aura. And so I'm so sick of them. They're ruining basketball. What happened to the game that I loved? Oh my gosh. Because the old head's gonna come back with some crazy shit. I'm telling you.
Well, shit. I'm a LeBron guy. I think he's the GOAT, but I do think it's kind of funny that you just go back to all this old tape and just rewatch it just nonstop and nitpick these little things. Ah, man. I mean,
that's really what Skip Bayless should be arguing about, since his numbers are dying.
That's crazy.
Nah, but honestly, KD, I'm happy that you picked Certified Lover Boy. It's a trash ass fucking pick.
Yeah, not the best Drake album at all.
No, it's not. And it's not in the top 5. But it might be.
You know what? That actually reminded me. I actually saw something on my feed the other day of. Did you see that Miami did like a freestyle rap? Like the University of Miami, when like
the Greg Olson one?
The Greg Olson one.
Greg Olson was rapping his ass off. I didn't know he was like that.
that she was getting muddied by the whole crew. What would she do? What would she
What's your name?
G-Reg.
What you do?
Get head.
How you do
Drop
it?
my drawers and let her see my third leg. Chillin' on the 7th floor. I gotta let these chickens know. Big Greg is in the house and I finna make these hoes choke. On my balls, on my dick, then I'm bustin' up quick. On the face, on the chest, stick my dick between the breasts. Come on, fellas, let's get weird. Stick your dick up in the ear. While I'm laughing at these guys, a second nut all in the eyes. That's how we do it, son. In the eyes.
Greg Olsen. That's a
He's
spicy
some
white.
Crazy shit.
He was horny as fucking them bars too. Oh my god. Oh my. What was they having? What was those boys in Miami having that white boy rap about? What did he say? I'm on the 7th floor. I'm pulling my pants off. She gonna have to suck it till this. He was talking crazy.
Crazy. And this is the guy that we have commentating our Sunday night football games.
That shit was hard. I can't even lie. That was a hard ass freestyle. That was a hard ass fucking freestyle.
Shout out Greg Olsen, man. We did not know you had bars like that, man.
No,
yeah,
no.
Greg Olsen sees this.
Yeah. Shout out Greg Olsen. No, that freestyle. If you guys didn't hear it, it's really, really good. It's really, really good. But no, that
so
that makes
are we
me
putting
think,
the people on to this Greg Olsen?
We are putting the people on like we do every single week.
It's funny you say that. I feel like we have a segment.
Me too. Like, what is it called again? Put you on. We almost timed it. I thought we did time it.
Almost right there. Hey, I think we nailed it last week. We're right there. We just got to keep practicing, man. But hey, it is our favorite segment of the week, man. And I'm really interested to see what you've brought to the table. Yeah, do you want to start with movies or music?
I think we should start with movies.
Okay. Do you want me to start?
Yeah, you start.
Okay. I'm going to go with something pretty mainstream. If you haven't seen this already, what are you doing? Go do yourself a favor. But I'm going to suggest watching Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, and Dragon Ball Everything because the creator of Dragon Ball has passed away, Akira Toriyama. Man, I just got to take
I'm getting emotional. I'm getting emotional. I thought about that shit. Like, I'm getting emotional to think about that shit. Like,
literally, Akira Toriyama, man. I got to thank him because Dragon Ball was one of the first anime I watched. And it just, I have so many good memories of it with me being with my cousins and us like growing up together watching Dragon Ball. And it really was, it's a special show. It's definitely not the best.
Nah, fuck that. I've been a Dragon Ball hater, but like, and like not to stomp on what you're saying. It's iconic, like, bro. What Toriyama did with Dragon Ball, he the godfather. Like, like for those who don't know, like you said, Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, passed away today at 68-year-old. Rest in power. But just thinking about the impact that Dragon Ball Z had on all of our lives, like especially like like teenage boys in America, like bro, literally. This shit had us in a fucking chokehold. Him and Jeff Hardy had us like this, had us like fucking this.
Headlock,
you know what I'm saying? Like, and I still remember the first Frieza saga. Like, I remember like fucking yesterday. That's the first anime I've ever watched in my life. That's what put me on to anime. And watching Kishimoto, the creator of Naruto, and Oda, the creator of One Piece, in the same the GOAT level mangakas talk about that's Toriyama Sensei to them. You know what I mean? They talk about them being in grade school, watching the reading Dragon Ball, watching it when it first came out, and being like, I want to be like him. And and Oda talking about how one of the greatest moments he's ever had, just as a person, was when Toriyama finally acknowledged him as a friend and called him by his first name. He said, there was no better great joy that I've had, and it's really sad. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's honestly like very powerful because like Toriyama was able to create something that like everybody like. He changed the world for animation, for manga. He made manga cool, anime cool. Like, man, it's tough to see him pass like that.
Literally brings a tear to my eye, man, because I really do think about the impact that he has had on anime and everything. And yeah, we won't go too much longer on this, man, because again,
but he definitely deserves it. Toriyama, shout out Toriyama.
Yeah, man, he really did change the game, and that's why if you haven't seen Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super.
You
Go
haven't
check
watched
them out.
anime. It's time. It's time, man.
It's time. And Dragon Ball's not a bad place to start. I will recommend saying Dragon Ball Z Kai is probably the best way to start, personally. I don't know about you, Ethan. Do you think that's like a good starting place for someone who's never really watched anime?
Just watch Dragon Ball, man. Shout out Toriyama, man. Like that's just, I feel like there's better ones and there's worse ones when it comes to Dragon Ball. You know what I mean? But I don't think today's the day to just watch whatever.
Absolutely not. Yeah, he set the blueprint. He set the blueprint. And even if you don't watch Dragon Ball, just know that Toriyama
references are everywhere. Bro, you cannot name one teenage boy that didn't do a Kamehameha. Like, you cannot name one that didn't do it, bro.
That's the type of Vegeta guy.
So shut up, bro. But you can't. Like, he had us in a chokehold. He had us like we was the pulse. He knew it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's how much Dragon Ball means to us.
Yeah. Man,
68 is young too, man. 68 is young.
Too young. Rest in peace to the great Akira Toriyama, man. Really appreciate all the work he put into those shows and to contributing to our childhoods. But Ethan, what do you have?
You interrupted that was my thing for the week. That was my put you on for movies and television, and I'd be more than happy to double up on that. Yeah, with Dragon Ball.
Hey, I think. All right, well, I think that's really good, man, because I really did see the news and I was just like this feeling of devastation.
Before we were recording too, I was like, fuck, man, like we getting old, man. Not on some deep shit, man. It's tough to see shit like this. You know what I'm saying? That's Dragon Ball. That's Toriyama. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't get animation period like how we have now without him.
Yeah,
anime in Western civilization is not like this without Dragon Ball. It's not.
Hey, we have this sadness that fills our hearts for Dragon Ball and for Akira Toriyama, but at the same time, I look at it as an idea, or as like it's beautiful that he left us with this legacy that we can like continue watching Dragon Ball and be like, man, this set the table for all of these other shows that we love, the shows that we're gonna show our kids, and we're gonna be like, hey. The guy who like pioneered that was Akira Toriyama, and he started with Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. So, hey, I'm glad we're on the same page. I think that's a really good put you on and gives us a good, moment of the show to appreciate him and everything that he did for our lives and for, I'm sure, millions of other people.
Billions, honestly. If we keep it a stack, that's probably how big Dragon Ball is. That's
literally, you can't go anywhere without seeing Dragon Ball. It's huge in Mexico too, which was crazy to me.
I saw a tweet that said flags in Mexico are at a half mast. After hearing Toriyama,
literally, that's hilarious, man. All right, so we got music next. You want me to go first, or do you want to take the reins here?
I'm gonna go first since you started with Toriyama. I'm gonna go light. I'm gonna go a song that I never heard until this week, but I've been hearing all over TikTok. Like it's like once you hear the song once, now you notice it everywhere you go.
Oh yeah.
And it's Cake by Wolf Jace Joey. Pretty good hip hop song. It's in that like techie, techno, Pierre Bourne type beats. Like it sounds like some Sega beats on the back, but it kind of got that Jersey bounce to it a little bit. And I really fuck with it. So Cake by Wolfface Joey. That's my put you on song for the week.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I've never heard of Wolfface Joey, but if you're putting on put you on, it must have done something. Right?
Bangers, no doubt about it.
All right. Well, I think I'm up next, and I'm gonna go with something that I'm probably late to the party on them too. I've heard them before, and I've listened to their music, but I heard this song recently, and I was just like, man, it's just kind of slipped by me. And it's become one of my favorite songs recently. I'm going with Don't Ya by The Internet. This is an album that came out in 2013, so it's a little bit older, but it's an R&B soul record. They're associated with Odd Future and Tyler and, that kind of group of stuff. So if you're into that kind of music, this is definitely the lane for you to go. She's got a beautiful voice, and The Internet has a lot of awesome music that you should check out. But my recommendation for Put You On this week is Don't Ya.
That's a good pick. That's a really good pick. The internet. I know there's rumors about it earlier this year, like that we're gonna get a new internet album soon, or at least they're recording for it. And I really need new internet music. I really need it. But I know they're all really big now, like Sid and Steve Lacy and all them. But there's never a wrong time for the internet to drop music.
Nope, they can come back anytime. We would accept them with open arms.
With open arms.
With open arms. But with open arms. That SZA stuff is crazy too, man. Can we talk about that SZA single?
Saturn?
Yeah.
So I think it's cool. I think we're just waiting
nice
for
too.
I think we're just waiting for the deluxe to come, to be honest. Lana. I think we're gonna get it soon. I think we definitely get it before summer.
Yeah.
I think bro, so TD, like I was thinking about it like the other day, now that Schoolboy Q dropped Blue Lips. TD is in a good place. They really are post Kendrick. They're really in a good place. Like,
I
didn't mean it in a bad way, but I just felt like them being so long, each and every one of them between albums, it definitely did hurt their
like momentum, I think.
Even though they have established acts, but it definitely got them out of some conversation that they're rightfully deserved in like current like rap labels. Because Isaiah Rashad's last album, not the house, is it The House is Burning?
Yeah,
The House of Burning. The House of Burning, great album. SZA, SOS.
Great.
I don't gotta say nothing. Now what's now
Schoolboy Q, Blue Lips.
Yep. Great album.
Which means J-Rock and Absol are probably next, if I had to guess.
J-Rock's coming soon. Absol I thought would have come last year, but I think Absol's gonna come this year. Sir is gonna come out in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
His new album. Like TDE is in a really good place.
They're all right, but this is the thing with TDE, in my opinion, right now, is that they, in that time that you're talking about, were like, they were taking so much time between like, oh, this artist is going to drop this album, and then this artist is going to drop this album. I think Dreamville kind of took like that and made it an advantage of being like, okay, well, while they're doing this, while they're like kind of continuing to establish these guys who are already, very good, we're going to go get ourselves some young bucks, some of these guys who are going to come in and change hip hop. And that's where I think Dreamville is better off than TDE right now, is you kind of have a clear successor for when after J. Cole drops the Fall Off, Jid's going to come in and take over that shit and be like, I'm the face of Dreamville. I'm the guy who's going to drop all of these albums. I'm going to be in that GOAT discussion. For TDE, I feel like it's a little harder to say who like steps into that role, because Kendrick obviously.
But they're all but you got to think they're older. Yeah, Kendrick was the head honcho, but you got to think they're older. Like everybody, but Zay, like Schoolboy, Ab, J-Rock, they're the same. They came out at the same time as Kendrick.
Yeah.
At one point, Schoolboy was bigger than Kendrick. It was a short amount of time, but he was bigger than Kendrick. But I think it just shows a level of consistency throughout all of them, that even after like a decade, they're still putting out all hits, no misses. Like they still ain't missed like that. They really haven't. And
I can't think of a bad TDE album. Yeah.
And it really makes me like wonder what happened. Like besides the whole like PC creative answer that Kendrick and Top Dog gave of like, oh, creative differences. And I do believe that Kendrick to a certain point outgrew TDE. But like it just something still doesn't sit right with me that on Kendrick's last album on TDE, there was no TDE artist on that album. And it still doesn't sit right with me. No SZA, no Zay, no Schoolboy, no J-Rock, no Absol. None of them.
There? What happened there?
Because we had features on that album. We got Kodak, we had Summer Walker. Like we got
Sampler out of fucking retirement for this album.
Like it just like it's one of those things like one eye open when I'm sleeping. It's one of those things, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And it's not to take away from TD's greatness, because like I said, bro, like they were in a better place than I thought they would be.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
and
so
it maybe proves that their like way of rolling out music might have been the correct way. Like, who can say? Because yeah, they might have Kendrick there no more, and they might not be as like I don't want to use relevant, because relevant, like it really don't mean nothing when you have consistency like how they do, because they can just drop after like 2 years, 3 years and still have that. But at the same time, They just have consistency. SZA had one of the biggest albums in the fucking world. Schoolboy Q has an early contender for rap album of the year. Like Isaiah had a great album. Like, was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago, I think.
Great album. And Sir's coming again, and I know he's gonna have a fire R&B album for us, and I know it. And SZA's gonna drop Deluxe. We're finally gonna get Absol and J Rock again. Like, I think they're in a really good place, and I don't think people speak about it enough.
Yeah, I think so too, man. And it really will be interesting to see like the way they maneuver now moving forward without Kendrick. Obviously, like you said, you've got SZA, who released one of the best albums of this last year. Obviously, very commercially successful. Schoolboy Q, I think we got to see how the numbers come in for him, but I thought the album was cool. And yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see, especially with J. Cole on his way out of Dreamville, too. I'm sure he'll still be involved in everything and not a similar situation to what Kendrick's dealing with TDE, but definitely interesting to keep an eye on. Can we talk about this Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight? Did you see the announcement for this?
At AT&T.
Why is this happening? Can you answer me that?
Here's when we're gonna do what is it called? What was our segment that we did last year? On Dick or Dick Alert? You on the Paul brothers, you have an on Dick thing with them. Like, it's outrageous,
bro. Okay,
I don't think it's that fucking bad. I think you're just hating. And we need to
dude. It is very bad. What are we doing here? Hold on.
You don't think Jake Paul got a shot against Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson's 55, bro.
Yes, I think he has a chance, but this is the point. Listen, Logan redeemed himself in many respects in my eyes because he decided, okay, I'm going to take this wrestling shit more seriously. He's been on TV more often. He's holding the belt. He puts on great matches. Jake is still trying to put on this persona that he's a boxer. And yes, he's boxing. He's making a lot of money fighting, boxing. But is he really boxing anybody that's worth boxing? This is Mike Tyson at 50
you said Mike,
plus.
But Mike Tyson will still knock the fuck out of most of these guys.
Yes, I understand that.
You know what you're saying? You know what you're saying, that Mike Tyson don't count?
No, listen, he's over 50. Do you think Jake Paul even stands a chance against him in his prime? Not a fucking chance. But at 50 plus, where Jake is supposed to have the speed, is supposed to have more endurance, all of these things to his advantage, I fully expect him to win this fight. I don't care if it's Mike Tyson. He's 60 years old. He's got a crazy right hook. Don't get me wrong. There's a chance that he could knock Jake Paul out. But this isn't the fight you take if you want to be considered a real boxer in my eyes. I don't know. I think it's just, at the end of the day, it's all about money.
Absolutely, but that's going to sell money. Mike Tyson at 50 fighting Jake Paul.
Oh, yeah, it'll sell tickets.
Still one of the biggest draws in boxing, like whether you like it or not. And Mike Tyson's Mike Tyson. So they're gonna make stupid bread off this fight.
Stupid.
At 8, they're at AT&T too. Like,
did you see Jake Paul got his fucking Mike Tyson tattoo on his face?
That shit is fake.
Yeah, it's fake for sure. But just funny that he knows it's kind of like wrestling. You got to build up the feud. You got to build up the event a little bit. So that's
absolutely, and they do a good job of it. They honestly do a good job of it.
If Jake wants to be redeemed in my eyes, I don't think he gives a fuck what I care about him.
Yeah.
But if he wants to be redeemed in my eyes, like his brother Logan, I think the move is simple. Stop with this boxing stuff. Stop pretending that you're a boxer. You're a good athlete, man. You're good with a microphone in your hand. You're good with a platform and with a camera in your face. Come join the WWE, man. Get a tag team going with him and Logan, bro. Can you tell me that they wouldn't be like one of the craziest tag teams in all of wrestling history?
Yeah, but I think you really have that dynamic with Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. I really do.
They just threw them together because they're two similar guys. This is like the real thing, though. You got two guys who are brothers. Both of these guys get on everyone's nerves. They'd be perfect for wrestling. They'd be perfect.
They would. But I think Logan's on this run right now, and I want to see where it goes from there.
For sure. But Jake, on the other hand, is still taking fights that don't make him a legitimate boxer. That's just the way I see it. That's just the way I see it. I mean, It's Mike Tyson. I get it. But guys, he is over 50. Like the Jake Paul's coming into this fight like fresh-faced 26-year-old, 27-year-old. I don't know how old he is, but he's a lot younger than Mike Tyson. And I promise you that it's going to be evident when we see that fight that Mike Tyson is still Mike Tyson, but he's not Mike Tyson biting people's ears off, knocking guys out in the first round.
You see what he did to what's his name? What's his name? Not Earl Spence. Who the fuck am I thinking of? Who did he just fight? He just fought like 2 years ago, an old boxer. He just fought like 2 years ago, an old boxer. You don't think he can fuck up Jake?
I hope Mike Tyson fucks him up. But then that basically defeats the purpose of the fight too. Because if Jake Paul gets knocked out by Mike Tyson, where does he go from there?
I don't think he gets knocked out by Mike Tyson because look at
okay, but I'm just saying, hypothetically, if what you're saying. I don't care what
anybody says. Floyd couldn't even knock out Logan Paul. So I don't think.
Okay, so but that's what I'm saying is if Mike Tyson somehow knocks out Jake Paul, where do you go from there?
You can go back to fighting. You got UFC fighters and tier 3
exactly.
boxers.
You don't go fight actual boxers. Even if he wins this fight,
he can. What? He can't. He's not going to go fight actual boxers unless they have a draw.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think you're just being a hater.
I was just about to say,
the on dick alert right in front of you.
I don't think so. Maybe I am being a hater. Let me know in the comments. But I feel like we've had this conversation so many times before too. It was just like, if you want to be taken seriously as a boxer, take serious fights. And this one isn't serious. This is just for money. And you know what? Good for them, man. I'm glad they're gonna get their bread. Hopefully, Mike Tyson knocks him the fuck out. But I guess we'll see.
we shall see. We shall see.
But hey, we're hitting the end of this episode. E, do you want anything? Do you want to say anything else before we end this podcast?
No, bro. I just want to say thank you. I thought we had a great episode this week.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's nothing left for us to talk about as far as I can think of. We kind of hit every single check on our notes for this week. I appreciate our audio listeners on Spotify and Apple Podcasts for listening. If you're not subscribed there or haven't given us a rating yet, what the fuck are you doing? Go do that real quick and come back and subscribe to our YouTube. We'll roll to 1,000 followers, trying to get as many listeners as possible into the fam. And make sure you guys follow us on Instagram at AWR Podcast. Same on Twitter and TikTok. We'll post content on there pretty much every single day.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, too, is even if you are following, if you're subscribed, send our videos to a friend. Send our post to a lover, to your grandma. I don't know. Whoever you think might like this podcast, send them our way.
Yeah. Send it to us. You already know who it's been.
It's the young Rottweiler, Ethan Hamilton. And I'm 007 Gage Sutton. Thank y'all for watching the Our Recording Podcast, and we will see y'all next week.
Peace.